I think the more you can learn to love yourself and really, hone in on some of those, because we're searching for those things outside of us because there's something that's unsettled within us, right? Or that we feel like we're not enough or we're not worthy. And I think that social media perpetuates that, right? We have filters, we have people putting their highlight reels up. It's not real life. And so that makes us feel even more like it's that affirmation of like, oh yeah, like I do suck. I'm not worthy, whatever. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not, and so when we're constantly reminded that and then media and, things like the Kardashians, right? Who they're, there's unrealistic expectations and we are holding ourselves to that, which is completely like, it doesn't even make sense. But we think that holds the key to our happiness, or that weight loss will hold the key to our happiness, or whatever it is. But the more you can really learn to like spend time with yourself and learn to love yourself and connect with yourself and know that, your creation wasn't a mistake. You're not made to fit in. You're made to stand out, right? You're made to be your own individual. The more we can connect with that, just think about how many more gifts we could bring to the world if we are actually just practicing like our passion, our dharma, like why we are here versus what the other person's doing that we want.
Well, we are a society and a culture, and I don't know where we switched over to this. Lacking in self-worth as a whole. It's almost like you could say it's an epidemic. And I don't know at what point we transition from that, like, or what the cause was. Do you have any ideas of like, is it, did we switch over in the 50s? Was it, like at what point did we cross over to not valuing our own self, not loving ourselves, and to this constant seeking of outer validation.
I can think about my parents' generation because that's as old as I know, or even my grandparents. Yeah. And they were definitely not told to pour into themselves. They were back then, you sacrificed, you stuck with a job for 50 years, even if it sucked, because that's just what you did, right? And you sacrificed, you scraped and saved. And there was no self-care. I mean, my mom raised 6 children. There was no self-care. Oh, there was no pouring into herself, and that was just normal. Like and to me, looking back now, like I am a mother and I can't imagine if I didn't pour into myself, I would be a terrible mother. Like I know that I would be, because I wouldn't have any mental space. I wouldn't have any clarity. I wouldn't have any I wouldn't have any proper stress response. I would just be constantly on edge. And I have felt that when my kids were really little. That's when I was healing. Yeah. And I know what that feels like. I can't imagine what that would feel like. But that was what was normalized. And I don't know what really caused that, other than just the previous generation who were living through the wars. And they're just thankful to be alive, right? And they're just, is full on survival mode, truly, right? Because they actually were surviving wars and that sort of thing. And so I think with that, and just, you think about how our school system has shifted and, that was taken over by, lots of higher up people. And so then we're being trained to be in jobs that may or may not mesh with our purpose or our passion, right? And so that's training starts young. It starts in our schools. It's institutionalization. And so we're trained to sit in a desk all day long doing something we don't want to do, to get a job sitting in a desk all day long doing something we don't want to do until we retire and then live our life. And that's just what's normalized. Yeah.